Live right here on this Tuesday morning on the early line on SportsGrid, a full Major League Baseball slate on a Monday, and it got started very early. Yesterday was Patriots Day in Boston, the running of the Boston Marathon, and an early start at Fenway Park. 11 a.m. Eastern Time, first pitch between the Red Sox and the Guardians, and for the very early goings of that early matchup yesterday, DRS, in MLB, no offense, no runs scored in the game between the Guardians and the Red Sox until the seventh inning. Will Brennan for Cleveland opens it up with a two-run shot, and Cleveland never looked back. The Guardians blanked the Sox 6-0 on the road in Boston to win outright as the moneyline underdog, plus 130 yesterday against Boston. Cutter Crawford on the bump, as you see right there for the Red Sox. He has been sensational this year, a .42 ERA. He shut out the Guardians in 5 2/3 of work yesterday, but it was Cleveland once he got out of the game from the seventh inning on where they scored all 6 runs.
Yeah, good win by the Guardians. And by the way, you know what sticks out more than their lineup scoring 6 runs and getting 9 hits? How about this, Ben? 8-2 on the road, man. You want to make the playoffs, and you're playing that good of baseball on the road. That's really going to help out. But it was just a calamity. Like, you might have thought the Red Sox were actually running in the Boston Marathon and not playing in that baseball game. Only 3 hits, no runs scored. Guys colliding, concussion stitches here. What a tough home opener. And also, did you see how it started, Ben? You got Gronk to throw up the first pitch and had a Gronk spike.
Yeah,
I guess that was the highlight of the day yesterday in Boston.
Yeah.
Tough scene there.
Again, a shout-out to Cutter Crawford, though. Now, in his 4 starts, 5 2/3 yesterday, 0 earned runs, only 2 hits, struck out 6. He has a .42 ERA with 24 Ks this year. He's only allowed 9 hits over 4 starts in general and just 1 earned run, and the Red Sox could not pick him up. Boston got off to a 7-3 start, a hotter beginning than many expected for the Red Sox this season. Since that point, they are 2-5. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, 11 wins now on the campaign. They avoided the sweep against the Yankees on Sunday at home. A win yesterday. Again, the Guardians 11-5. A matchup between two teams yesterday, Donnie, in Houston. We expect to contend for pennants and World Series each and every year. It wasn't the star-studded Aces affair in Houston, and we thought we'd see some runs. Not exactly. The Atlanta Braves scored 6. They win 6-1 in H-Town over the Astros. They were actually a very slight road moneyline favorite at -116, but the game does stay under. Atlanta wins the first game of this set in Houston.
It's crazy, too. You look at Houston on the season now, Ben, 6-12 overall, 4-7 at home. You say, well, are they really struggling at the plate? Not necessarily. I mean, Jose Altuve on the season is hitting over 400, but you're lining up this Atlanta Braves lineup on a day-to-day basis. They are always going to be better than their opponents. It's just up to their starting pitchers to give them a chance to hang around. Yesterday, they certainly did that, and you did see the Braves score 4 times in the ninth inning to sort of stretch that lead out, but 6 runs, 11 hits, that's average for the Atlanta Braves, and any starting pitcher that's going to be on the Braves because you know what? I don't have to throw a gem. I have the best hitting lineup in baseball behind me right now on a night-to-night basis. The Braves are 10-5 right now, not really because of their starting pitching, which was quite good yesterday, and also their bullpen, but their bats have been absolutely sensational. Another win for the Braves, which then we turn over our focus to the Astros and say, there's one thing, Ben, about opening the season in a little bit of a slump. 6-12 on the season, not a good look, and more games with the Braves on deck.
And listen, Donnie's point right there is completely sound. It is still the middle of April. We've been in this Major League Baseball season for a little bit less than 3 weeks. A lot is going to figure itself out in June, July, August, so on and so forth. Are the Houston Astros in danger at the moment of missing the postseason? Way too early to tell. But what we can say for what we called a World Series preview question mark, the Houston Astros have seen their odds work against them in a negative fashion in these first 3 weeks of this MLB campaign. They entered the year as the favorites to win the American League pennant, plus 360. Add on a buck to that price, and the Yankees now well in front of the Astros. They entered the year with the 3rd best price, but the best out of the American League to win a World Series. Now the 4th best number at plus 950. And when you look at those World Series odds, it's the Dodgers and the Braves, separated by $1.50. The Yankees $1.50 behind Atlanta. So pretty close there. Those top three teams separated by only $3. And then a $3 drop-off to the Houston Astros. Again, very early. Those distinctions will change throughout a very long Major League Baseball season. But there is no doubt about it. The statement the Astros have made to start is negative market movement.
No, it is. But you have to remind ourselves, too, because so many times we get caught up in you don't win the World Series by having the best record in baseball at the end of the regular season. The reason I bring that up is if you think the Astros are still a quality team, you're getting them at a really good discount. Is anybody out there watching the show or listening or even watching the Houston Astros going like, yep, 6-12, let's, play that out for a season. Maybe they get the 65 wins if they're lucky. You know that's not the case here. The Houston Astros are going to be a player come August and September to make the playoffs. And if you like the Astros and just figure it's a swoon to start the season and we'll get it together, that's a great price point to start buying into, because sooner than later, the Astros will be above 500. Those prices will start to shift back. But from that market to open the season till now, you're getting a substantial discount on the Astros here. And that's a good thing if you want to jump in on them right now.
Up in Toronto, it was the Blue Jays against the Yankees in American League East Divisional Showdown. Again, a lot of scoring early, but that's where it stopped. All 4 runs in total scored in this game. Done by the bottom of the third, it was Alejandro Kirk plating some insurance for Toronto. They scored 2 in the second after the Yankees scored 1 in the top half of the frame. And again, that insurance run in the third as the Blue Jays knock off the Yanks 3-1. Luis Gil on the bump yesterday for New York. 7 walks, DRS. 7 walks for the Pinstripes in 5 innings, including a wild pitch in the second that was technically the game-winning run for Toronto.
Yeah, surprised that he didn't actually give up more runs than that, as you pointed out. A lot of walks and also a pass ball. But the one thing that's been kind of interesting to see the past couple starts for Bassett against the Yankees, he's been very good against them. And yesterday, no different. 6 1/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run. That's a very good lineup that he faced here and shut him down in a ballpark like Yankee Stadium. Should be able to give you home runs and extra base hits. Now, the one thing we are waiting for, just like we talk about the Astros, hey, when is the season going to turn on? You look at Aaron Judge right in the middle of that lineup, an 0 for 4 with 2 Ks yesterday, a 194 batting average. That's just not good enough right there. We'll see if he can certainly start to get it going. Once that weather heats up, he should be okay, but not a great start to start the season here for Judge.
When you look at some of the box scores and the final scores yesterday around MLB, interesting scoring trends. A lot happened early and often, or in the case of the Mets and the Pirates, a lot happened late and a lot happened in the 6th inning. No scoring until we got to the 6th. The Pirates score 3 in the top of the 6th. The Mets answer with 3 in the bottom of the 6th, and then plate 3 more in the bottom of the 8th for a rally and a comeback. The New York Mets, after an 0-5 start to this season, have now won 8 of their last 11, 2 in a row in 4 of their last 5 as the Amazons rally as a home favorite yesterday, minus 124 on that money line for a 6-3 win. And because of the additional runs in the home half of the 8th, a total of 8.5 does go over.
Yeah, 11-6, the Pirates. No shame there for them, but you sort of want to hang on and not collapse late against the Mets. But that's a good win for the Mets now, sitting at 8-8. And also, some of these superstars with monster contracts opening up the season really struggling. Francisco Lindor actually went 2 for 4 yesterday. Oh, he must be having a good season. Yeah. That raised his average to 152. So Lindor to the Mets certainly hasn't paid dividends compared to the contract that he did receive. Long season to go, though, as we know. Mets now at 500 and waiting for their superstar to say, you know what? Season is here. You're supposed to be hitting 300, kid.
A couple more scores around MLB. The Nationals go into the Ravine, knock off the Dodgers. That's pretty crazy. The Cubbies win in extras against the Diamondbacks. Nico Horner, the game-winning RBI in extras. The Phillies hold off the Rockies 2-1. The Padres played a ton against the Brewers. They were the road underdog in Milwaukee.